Live from the heart of America, I'm Steve Gruber, ready to fight for you from the foxhole of freedom, giving you better analysis and insight than anyone else. I shine a spotlight into the darkness of this thing we call the political media industrial complex. This is the relentless pursuit of truth, and here are three big things you need to know to start your day today. Number one, a college professor fired in Texas for having the nerve to teach that biological sex is based on X and Y chromosomes. I mean, how dare he teach actual science? Number two, here is something interesting. Donald Trump is the only living or former president whose ancestors were not slave owners. Let that sink in for a moment. And number three, it's quite clear that with yet another leak that impacts only Donald Trump and never Democrats, that the deck is getting stacked against the 45th president of the United States again. This time, the left-wing propaganda machine is pumping out stories about a leaked audio tape that they claim proves Donald Trump had illegal classified documents in his possession after leaving office, and worse, that he shared those documents with people who could not legally see them. So today we'll start by dissecting the audio and then hearing what Trump and others have to say about what is actually going on. Now, this tape that has been intentionally and illegally leaked, I might add, is from 2 years ago. And I want us all to listen together, okay? We want to listen to this together to understand what we're dealing with, okay? One of the tapes that Democrats claim is the smoking gun to convict President Trump of having illegal documents has now been let out to the public because that's the normal course of business anymore in the ongoing smear campaign against him. Trump derangement syndrome is real. It is real. People lose their minds. I hate him so much, I can't even think straight. Well, then you're an idiot. It's just a person talking. So let's break it down into a couple of pieces and talk about it, shall we? Here's part one.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, you know, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
Wow.
We looked at something. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. Look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
Yeah, so there's the part, and it may sound damning. If you're told what to listen for and what you're hearing, you see it's like a picture. Don't you see the duck? Oh, and you see the duck. But if you're told, what do you see? They're like, Or if, you play the Led Zeppelin record backwards, don't you hear it? They're talking about Satan. And if you're told what to hear, if you're told what you're seeing, it changes anything. But is it really anything significant? I don't think so. Because nobody on the left has been able to say at this point what document it would even be that he'd be pointing to. They've not produced any evidence of that or the document either. This is all conjecture at best and another smear job at worst, and all with the same intent. Destroy Donald Trump at all costs. That's what this game is. Destroy Donald Trump at all costs. And it finishes this way. Listen again.
and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know. Private email.
she'd send it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the
You
papers.
did.
This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassified.
figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified.
Yeah.
No, I can't, but this is
classified. Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so. Look, we heard and you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in.
And there it is. The smoking gun. How many smoking guns have they had? 116, 120, whatever it is. Look, it doesn't prove anything. You don't know what he has in his hand. He could have newspapers in his hands, clippings referring to magazine articles. It's very unclear. Those on the left want to believe he has some document that is, the smoking gun will prove that Donald Trump did. He had documents in his possession that he was legally allowed to have as president. He had documents in his hand that he was legally allowed to declassify in his hand as president. And now they're in his possession still. And the librarians got their underwear in a twist. That's what happened. Those on Trump's team saying this recording proves nothing because it proves nothing. Except that Democrats are desperate to get Trump out of the race and protect their 81-year-old incumbent from being pummeled in the election in 2024. Can you imagine right now, based on Joe Biden's effectiveness physically and mentally to stand on a debate stage 2 or 3 times, can you imagine that right now when he's 81 years old? Oh, no. Oh, boy. Oh, diaper change. Oh, boy. Yeah. Former Congressman and House Intel Committee Chair Devin Nunes says there is nothing to the leaked audio. Here he is.
To selectively leak. It is to take something possibly out of context. What I heard right there, it's a nothing burger. There's nothing there. It appears like he's maybe referring to some article, some story maybe that had just come out. I think there's no question that Republicans in general, especially Trump, have no use for General Milley. We think that he's went woke. He's done a lot of damage to the military. And so the fact that Trump is responding to something that we're not even sure what it is yet, but my guess is that there was some type of fake news story that had just recently been out in the news that President Trump was looking at and he wasn't happy about, and he was having a back and forth with a reporter. And then finally there's this, Bianca. What document? What is it? Why don't they name it? I mean, if it's like some Iran war plans, we've heard lots of leaks.
Yeah, name it. What is it? Specifically, what are we talking about? Stop beating around the bush. I've met and interviewed Devin Nunes a number of times. I consider him to be a straight shooter. He's a farmer. I generally trust farmers, not always, but generally, and I trust him. As for the former president, he says this is par for the course, very predictable, of course, and it's all because it is. We're going to hold that till after the break, but we're going to hear from President Trump what he has to say about this. Look, there's no smoking gun here. It's conjecture. It's wishful thinking. And again, we stay on the same path. It's being generated and redistributed in the 24-hour news cycle by MSNBC, by CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times. Oh, and I've got a very interesting article from the New York Times that admits, by the way, that David Weiss was told he could not prosecute Hunter Biden. They don't get it until more than 20 paragraphs into the story, but the New York Times does confirm that David Weiss tried to prosecute Hunter Biden in D.C. and in California and was rebuffed both times. That was published yesterday. We have that story for you, too, coming up. This is the Steve Gruber Show. Check out stevegruber.com. Look, all I care about is America first. That's what I'm fighting for here right now, for you, for us, for this country, by God. I'll take a break and be back. Don't go anywhere.